Transformers 5. I'm continuing on from the last video. These will be the most worst, least favorite videos that I'm ever going to upload to my YouTube channel, but I'm going to do them anyway. Transformers 5. It's decent. Now here, let me show you what I think of every one of them. Now, if you can hear talking, that is my aunt and that is my mum and my uncle. But nonetheless, these movies are decent. Nonetheless, the first three are good. The fourth one's fucking garbage. The fifth one is ain't. It's ain't. It's ain't. It's an 8 movie. It's ain't. It's alright. It's an alright movie with a decent story, and I really think what Michael Bay was going for was a decent experience with the first three. Overall, I love Transformers 1 through 3. Transformers 1 is what got me into Transformers in the first place and has made me what I am today, and a big fan of the Transformers, and has made me never hate this movie in my entire life. That's what this movie is. It's a childhood favorite. It's a childhood classic. Like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, and to some extent the Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah. Transformers 2, another childhood classic, a childhood great in my opinion. It's a classic, but not a great, but it's a classic in a good way. This is another childhood classic. I never really loved this too much when it came out, but over the years I've started developing more of a better side for it. The first one I completely started loving much more the more older I got to now. From then to now, I've loved it just as much as I did back then. Not too much, but just as much as I did. Down about on this one, but still love it as much as I did back then. This one, I do not hate it. I hated that one. My mum used to love this when I was a kid. Didn't know why she liked him. I hated it because there's no mega box. But besides that, nonetheless, from a writing perspective, even though that is frustrating, it is still a good movie, and I can still like it. And you can still enjoy playing the first 3 video games that they're based on, these movies, because they're still decent. That's why the games are decent. And so is the third movie. The third movie is another childhood classic in the great category. This is in the worst category, in the great category of some of the worst movies I've ever seen in my childhood. This goes along the side of Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'd rather watch this to an extent. Maybe the Amazing Spider-Man 2 is in the middle. It's between Transformers. It's in front of this one because this one's a sack of garbage, and it's behind other garbage movies that I'd rather watch more than that one. Like Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. That's a eh. But nonetheless, it's but still garbage. This is a meh movie in my childhood. I do not count this a classic yet, because any movie that came out from 2017 and before is not really a classic just yet, even though it was only 4 years ago. 2016 and before are a bit more further away. 5 years is still, even though it's not that long ago, it's still quite long ago. So I count that as classic. Like all the movies from 2007 all the way to 2009 are all old movies I used to watch as a kid. I didn't remember what they were. 2010 to all the way to 2010 all the way to 2016 would be classics. Those would be all the classic movies I consider classics. And there is also a worst category out of those classics. There can be very worst movies I've ever seen now. Movies that I thought were great, but I've looked back on it with less and less liking, like Batman Forever. But I kind of still like Nicole Kidman in it, because that's kind of the best part of the entire movie. I'm gonna probably have to privatize DVDs or something. Yeah, that sounds really inappropriate. But anywho, this movie, it's part of the current childhood movies I have. The current ones are 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. Those era of movies have not finished yet. After 2021, I will then consider this era of movies, of my childhood movies, finished off, and then 2022 will continue on from where 2021 left off, and we'll kind of finish it off with the final round, final round. But nonetheless, this is an alright movie. The design of Optimus Prime there looks insanely fucking dope. The casting is decent. The idea of the Transformers living in the past is a cool idea. And I like the action, and really decent done action was introduced. I hate hot robbing cringe. Don't know why some people might like that, but it's their opinion. And I overall think this movie is the most guilty for ruining a lore that I thought had been done amazingly in the first three films. The first film established this lore, the second film continued on, even though the second and third didn't retcon it. They kind of added more onto the lore. The second and third movie especially added more into the lore of the Transformers. Like how Sentinel Prime, Optimus Prime's mentor, crashed on the moon many years back in the 1960s. This one expands on the past. These ones both expand on the past of the Transformers and then affect it in the present and the future. This one affects the past affects the present in this movie. And the past affects the future in this movie. Only issue with each one of them, these are the only issues. Transformers 1, oh, it's good. It's a really great movie. It's an awesome movie. Does need a tiny bit of improvement, but it's a great movie, and decent is the way it was made. Transformers 2 needs more improvement. Megan Fox needs a character arc. Alice needs to be treated less as a sex object. A lot more stuff needs to be improved there. Transformers 3 replace Carly entirely. Make the stories much more tied up. And if you do keep Carly, make her a much more tied up character. So yeah, but yeah, I'll change Carly from Carly to Megan Fox and make Carly a side character. Heck, even in my recut, I would say, I've even imagined recuts that Megan Fox would be the main girl and Sam, and they would end up getting married. But for those who did, for some reason, like Carly, or did it like a character better, I would also release two different cuts. The Baines cut, which is with Michaela Baines, and the Carly cut, which would be just the Baines cut, which would have Michaela Baines in the movie, and the ending one, the final cut, which would be just with Carly. So to finally means Transformers theatrical cut, Transformers Baines cut, Transformers final cut, Dark of the Moon, Transformers Dark of the Moon theatrical cut, Transformers Dark of the Moon Baines cut, Transformers Dark of the Moon the final cut, Transformers End of Extinction. No, I would not recut that movie. This movie is a complete mess to recut. I would never recut either of these movies, and I would never go back and watch them. I have not watched these movies. I have not watched this since 2017. I have not watched this since 2016 or 2018. I do not know. I literally forgot the last time I watched this. So. The last time I watched this was actually quite recently. It was around early January this year on Netflix. This was quite recently, and I watched this one quite recently on Netflix. Overall, I love the first two Transformers. They're my childhood. Transformers 1 got me into Transformers when I was a kid. It introduced me to love Transformers. This one sealed the deal for me falling in love with the franchise, and maybe becoming an avid fan. This one was a great ending in my opinion that should never have been screwed up. This movie is a sack of garbage that ruined an amazingly done lore and was, in my opinion, the worst one in the franchise. This is decent, but needed a whole lot of improvement, and was a lore wrecker that broke the entire lore of the franchise like never before. And they're both soft reboots. I would want to set them in a separate continuity, but unfortunately they're set in the first three movies, so that sucks. Really sucks. But nonetheless, we've gotten a bit more glimmer of hope with Bumblebee. And if you guys would like to see my version of how I do Transformers 4 all the way to the final movie, tell me in the comments below. And yeah, on the side note, got this in the mail. It's an old Disney Infinity figure from back in the day. Remember these little bad boys? They were the best ones in there. Old fashioned, surprised it still survives. And I was only 1 year old, 6 years and up. So yeah. But nonetheless, yeah. Fat Dog, Mr. Monopoly, June 16th, blah blah blah. So yeah, these will probably become my most not very liked videos. I will upload these and probably not really remember them. So yeah, these were the 2 videos about why I hate Transformers: End of Extinction. The next video you'll be seeing will be expecting me about. I'll be talking about Transformers, why I like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. And I've just found out I can't do any videos on May about Spider-Man because it's not May, it's June, the month after May. So next month you'll be seeing some videos on Spider-Man from July 6th all the way to July 31st. And since it's like June 16th, so yeah, these will be my most disliked videos, and I'll probably never look at these again until I'm like, I don't know, 18. But yeah, if you guys ever want to remind me of these weird videos, yeah. And Kadem, to Kadem Rob McCondeck, if you are watching this video and you show this to my children, or your children, if you or me even have any children, separately I mean, not gay in a way, make sure to show, if you want to show them this video, go ahead, see if I really care. I really don't mind showing them my really, really crappy past on YouTube, because I have a better future on YouTube than that. Unless, catch you later, and I'll be going out to chat with my uncle and mum. Catch you later. See you, chum. Just like, subscribe, and bye. I'm gonna turn off the